Hey, what's going on? Just got back from the gym. Thought I'd give you guys a little sample. Uh, I'm looking at this Jim Jones and Cameron beat, and it's really making me think about. I like those guys. I like their energy. They some hustlers, man. If you listen to those guys and how they out here entrepreneurial, I learned a lot. I got a lot of respect from Cameron for Cameron because I've heard other people brag on Cameron and how well of an entrepreneur he is and how he helped a lot of people, put a lot of people on. And I forget what rapper I was listening to on Breakfast Club one morning, and he was saying that, man, Cameron really taught me the game and helped me out. And Cameron has been a great influential guy. And the same for Jim Jones. I've heard a lot of good things about these brothers. They out here trying to make millions. They're making moves, and I respect these brothers. You know what I'm saying? I honestly didn't like Jay-Z, but I listened to a channel about after Prince died, and the guy talked about how Jay-Z got the keys. He's breaking down the video, and he was talking about black ownership, and it changed me because I always felt like Jay-Z kind of played on that, his arrogance as far as he played with the Illuminati, tried to own it, but he tried to throw it like he wasn't really with it, but then he'll do something to make you think he is. And so I really didn't like that. But now I respect the brother because I understand things a little different now. You know what I'm saying? So, but really this whole thing really kind of has me thinking about some of the stuff I did when I was a real estate investor and how I chose to help a lot of friends of mine. And it took me about two years to sell my first property, and I didn't have the money, and I didn't have a budget, and nobody helped me. And I was going to read books at Books A Million, and, buying pieces of wood here and there with little scraps of $40, $50, and cutting the grass when they had no money to really buy any material. It took me 2 years, and after I sold that house, I got in a rhythm, and I started working, and I did a couple other houses. I started doing pretty good for myself, and I had quote unquote friends come around that would leech off me. And if you've never had money, I have a heart, man. My heart is real big, and so I like to help people, and I still do. I'm not the type of person that's been, just because I've been burned once, that I think, okay, that's, I get wiser. Be wise. Don't just write a check, but at the same time, don't let someone burning you stop you from being, a giving person. And there's one brother in particular that, just for ease of the story, I basically took this brother under my wing. First of all, he stayed around the corner from the second house that I bought. And so I used to take him to work every day. I took this guy to work for about 3 months straight. Wasn't no big deal to me because I didn't have a clock to punch. I didn't have, anything to worry about. So, he wanted me to run him to work. His car broke. I took him to work for 2 or 3 months. And, he would call me. I would come get him, drop him back off at the house. Wasn't no big deal to me, Monday through Friday. I didn't really give a damn. He called me. It was cool, And so, after a while, he lost that job. And by then, I was on like my 4th house. So I told him, I said, man, hey, come work for me, So I brought him in and I put him over some people because by then I had a couple other workers that, because this guy was young, he was like in his early 20s and I was in like my early 30s at the time. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to bring this brother in and I'm going to make him my project manager. I just said that, gave him a little fake title or whatever. So he comes in and the first day he was there, he went and bought some semi-gloss paint and didn't know any better. When I told him to get some flat, he put semi-gloss on. He just didn't know any better. So I told him about that and told him what he did wrong. I didn't get mad. I didn't chew him out. Now a lot of the workers called him stupid. Let's just say he wasn't the brightest guy in the world. He wasn't. But at the same time, he was my boy. And I didn't want to dog him out and judge him because of his lack thereof of certain things he understood. So, as time went on, I think he got kind of comfortable. And as I gave him money, because I was paying this brother like right at $600 a week, which, he didn't have the skills. Just to be honest, he says the most he ever made in a week. In Montgomery, Alabama, at the time, $600 a week, even to this day, is damn good money. when the average household income in Montgomery is 35,000. So that's technically, if you work a job and get taxes, that's about the same. Actually, that's more, because 40,000 minus taxes. So he's just basically right up in that same area, so to speak. So, and we really didn't do it a lot. A lot of times he would come to the gym with me. We would play ball. I really wasn't real, like, I need him to work 40 hours hard and do this and do. I really wasn't riding him too hard. We lived a good life, I was around. He was hanging around with me all the time and stuff. And so he started getting his own workers, right? Well, he didn't get it. He started getting his own job. And what he would do is he would take my workers, people that were working with me, and a couple of guys were Mexican. He would take them and have them do a roof. And so, at first he did a roof. He would get it would be 50-50, even though he didn't know how to hang one shingle. He was still, the Mexicans would agree to it. So I was like, okay, if they dumb enough to go up there and do a roof for $1,200, then go ahead, and they did. And he did a couple of roofs like that. And then, he got kind of uppity. And he knew a girl that I went to school with. She knew him, and she called me one day and she said, me and him just got in an argument, and he really despises you. And I hadn't done anything to him. He's really, really despises you. He talks about you every day, and that's all he talks about. And he says you're not all that, and you can't do that. I said, well, I don't want him to think I'm all that, but why does he have to say that? So she told me that. I didn't call him and cuss him out because I said, okay. I just put that in the back of my mind. So he did that. And then one day I showed up one week, and I got there, and he had a job paying. I think he had never had a job paying, like, he got a big roof job, like maybe $7,000. And he was going to get half. So he gypped these guys. First of all, he got the Mexican workers. I show up to work on Monday. They're not at my house. Now, take in mind, when he was doing the roof, I would let him use my materials, my tools, my air compressor, my ladder. None of that shit he was using, that they were using, was his. He'd never bought any tools or anything. I was being nice, and I said, I'm going to let this guy use my tools. And, it's cool because we're not really using the air compressor. We weren't really using the ladder at the time. We were on the inside doing other work. So I said, okay, go ahead. So, but even still, I was paying him $500-600 a week. So he got so greedy because he saw this $7,000 job that he said, fuck this job for my homeboy who put me on. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. Fuck him. I'm finna go out here and be at this job and stay at this job 24/7. And not only that, when I called, he didn't answer. So I go out there and I show up to the job, and he comes out with an attitude because he's pissed because he didn't call. You show up Monday, you don't call me. I'm paying you $600 a week, and he had never had any money. So for him, $6,500, whatever he thought he was gonna make, was more than he'd ever had. So for him, he thought, I'm gonna be rich if I get this, whatever, I'm gonna get off this job. So fuck him. Not understanding in 2 or 3 months that money be gone. You just fucked up a job where you could have been you've been making $600 a week for the last year and a half, 2 years, right? So I talked to him, and he's already ready to snap, right? But I'm calm because I'm in my mind. I said, okay, he's young, he don't know no better. I ain't gonna snap him. I'm just gonna try to tell. I said, what happened, man? What happened to? Y'all ain't called me. What's up? Man, my bad, man. We got over here. I said, okay. Yeah. So I go down and I talk to the workers. I say, hey, man, y'all ain't working on my job. You're not getting paid for the job that you're not working right. Oh, yeah, we understand. Right? So, that shit happened. The next, I said, go ahead and take the day and work. Tomorrow, I need you guys to show up for work. First of all, next time, and I need you to respect me and pick up the phone and call me next time. Don't just do no shit like that. He said, okay. Right? So they came to work the next day. So he comes to the house that I have, and he's working this shit. So he tells me, he's like, yeah, man, I know I told them I'm gonna go half 50-50 with them, but I'm gonna keep $5,500. I'm just gonna give them $1,500. Right? So I sat there and I let him say it. I said, oh, really? He said, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Because he had met this girl in Atlanta and all that. So he was all excited and stuff. And I told his ass, I said, bro, that ain't right. Why you can't tell me? I said, look, bro, we almost went to blows, but I told his ass, I said, bro, that's not right, man. That's not right. You know what I'm saying? After that, me and him almost got in a fight because I told his ass the truth. He left, came back and apologized. Said, man, I'm sorry, man. You right. My word is my bond. I told him I was gonna get him half. I need to get him half. I knew the whole time he knew what was wrong. He knew he was wrong. But I'm saying all this to say this. When it comes to being friends in the black community, a lot of black men, a lot of people don't know how to be friends. Not only do they know how to not be friends, if you give somebody something, see, I had a video called Political Atheist that talked about Machiavelli and how you can't give people too much. I understood why Machiavelli said what he said, because I was too nice, I was too lenient. See, this was my first time ever making money. This is me pouring my heart out and telling the truth. I think in 2006, I made $600,000. So I had a lot of money. I didn't care. But at the same time, I needed to manage that money better. I didn't manage that money better. So when the housing bubble burst, those little extra dollars that I paid out to people that weren't really deserving, I regretted that. And I learned my lesson. And I won't do that again. But the lesson I learned was that, a lot of times people, Bobby Womack had a song about, people don't want you when you're down or whatever. In fact, I'm going to get that song and play it in the background. But that's the issue. People, when you up, everybody's cool. When you're down, everybody dogs you out and they don't want to have nothing to do with you. So I'm saying all this to say this. The brother that I'm talking about regretted when the housing bubble burst and I did my comedy club. And see, this is why you really shouldn't do business with friends a lot of times. That's probably what I'm gonna name this video. And I, the housing bubble burst. I did the comedy club. Me and him still hung out a lot. We'd go to the gym and lift weights and play ball and stuff. So when I did my comedy club, he came and I had him doing security over there. He was nosy because every time a girl would come in the door, first of all, he'll be flirting. I had to tell him, like, man, be professional. Don't be flirting. Girls don't want to be harassed when they come out to my spot. I don't want that. I'm going to be professional. I wasn't in there trying to fuck every girl that came in the door. I wasn't trying to fuck nobody came in the door. I was worried about my money. I'm worried about my money first, right? By then I was getting wiser. I was hip to the game and I knew who he was by then. I started knowing who he was. So I'd pay him, but I was paying him a little peanut, just to do security, just to watch the front door and stuff like that. So when the comedy club fell apart, me and my partner kept going back and forth. He was gossiping like the mouth of the South. And it was almost as if he was happy that the shit went like it did. And I sat, and when I left that club, I was depressed. I was down. I mean, because that was my last bit of real estate. Man, I had worked so hard, and I heard it said. I was listening to Dave Anderson last week. He said Russell Simmons lost every damn bit of fat form clothing. He said he had to climb out the hole from that. But if you're gonna do business, you got to be able to climb from off your back a couple of times to know what it's like to have to get up off your back, right? And that was one time I was on my back. But when you on your back, you think very clear. You're able to see people for who the fuck they are. How are they when your shit fucked up? Who are they then? That shit really means something to you, and it makes you hard. It makes you. I honestly, you build a shell where you feel like you don't need nobody, because everybody, when you were up and you had all this money and everybody was cool and you had these fancy little nicknames, everybody choking with you. You was going to Hooters and spending $200 like it wasn't nothing. Everybody was cool then, but when you down, then you're a nobody, and that's what I had to learn, And when that took place, it taught me a lot about myself, and it taught me a lot about these so-called people that I call friends. And so, I'm not saying Jim Jones or Camron is wrong in that situation, because I kind of hate to see two guys that have been boys for 20 years go at it like that. But at the same time, I know what it's like to be a friend with someone. I had another friend of mine. We took his ass all over the world. We was traveling. He run out of money because his ass was waiting on tables at the time. I was like, fuck that, man. I need you to go with me, man. Save up a couple of $100, man. Save what you can. And we get down there, shit, a weekend, he run out of money. I go to the ATM, pull out $500. Here you go. You don't owe me shit. That's how I am. I'm very giving when I have money, very flippant, or I was anyway. At the time, I was very flippant, very giving. See, but when you have years of struggling, working dead-end jobs as a damn produce manager, and you struggling trying to get on your feet, and you think about all that shit, and you know all these niggas that when you had money, they done forgot the shit that you did. Like, you putting them in on concerts and all that shit and doing shit that they didn't do. You getting 50% of the proceeds from a concert or another event that you do. I was more than generous. And I had to learn not to be so damn generous. But I always felt like if I ever get on, I'm going to help people. I ain't going to be selfish like everybody else I see. If you're listening to this video, sometimes you have to be selfish. Sometimes you have to be selfish for a long, extended period of time until you can get on your feet where you can afford to give motherfuckers something that if they do shit it over, it don't hurt you. I didn't know that. That's where I messed up in. So I'm pouring this out to you. That's why I'm not giving you my real public name. I don't really give a damn if people comment down below, "You're stupid. You should have done this. You should have done that." No, that's not how I was thinking. I was trying to help brothers. I've always been the type of brother to look out for the next man and put people before myself. That's my mindset, you know, and it still is to a certain extent. But now I understand you got to be selfish sometimes, man. You got to look out for yourself until you can get yourself to a certain level. You can't be trying to put somebody else on and you not on. You know, even Camron today, I was listening to him. He said when he signed with Rockefeller, he was talking to Dane. He was like, man, you just got here to Rockefeller and you trying to get me to put Joel Santana on every single you do. You're like, man, you just got here yourself. So there's no, you know, he said, get yourself on first when you trying to worry about Joel Santana. When I got those, when I was flipping those houses, that little money I paid his ass, he didn't appreciate it. I regretted every dollar I gave his ass. And you know, I'm gonna to his credit, I'm gonna admit this. That brother picked that phone up and he called me. He said, man, that's the best I ever lived when I worked with you, man. He said, man, that's the most money I ever made. You taught me how to really get it, man. I appreciate that. To his credit, he does say that. He did admit that, you know. But he don't know I know a lot of shit he was saying behind my back and a lot of the shit he was doing. And whenever he saw money, he got selfish and stepped over me to try to get it, not knowing like, damn, this is enough money to go around, bro. It ain't got to be. You can't love money. I don't love money. I understand the importance of money. And every waking moment of the day, I'm ambitious. I'm out here trying to get it. But I do understand you don't step on relationships are priceless if they're really good relationships and people really, if somebody's really loyal and they have your back, that shit is priceless, man. Don't ever forget that. So don't step on somebody like that. But my problem is I was trying to help the next person and the next person was thinking about the next person instead of, damn, this dude, somebody help me and do something for me. I'll never forget that. Never. You know, but people not like that. People, you know, one of the guys I put on the Hotep's Get on My Nerves video, he was one of them guys that was conscious, but he the one I took all over the world. But as you can see, we did a concert, he was stealing, he was lying, he was a lot of shit he did. And me and this dude go back 25 years, man. Me and this dude go back, you know, damn, you know, babies, man. We was damn near kids, babies when we met. Little toddler, still had high ass voice, wasn't even getting musty yet. We was boys, man. And that's how you do me. That's the shit that you gotta, it remembers, it plays in your head like, damn. So, you know, I tried to work this shit out with him a couple of times. You know, after a while, you just get to a point where that shit snap like, fuck it. I don't work too hard to be this nigga friend. Every time I turn around, he getting emotional. Every time he bring his ass up here to Atlanta, you know, he's righteous and so, you know, conscious and all that shit. But you come to Atlanta, you trying to fuck all these strippers and, you know, getting mad, accusing niggas of calling your girl and lying. Those shit, like, I got tired of that. I got tired of being falsely accused of shit that ain't had nothing to do with. Like, my nigga ain't even in Montgomery. Like, why you accusing me? Just because your girl found out you up there fucking with some strippers in Atlanta. Ain't got nothing to do with that. But you blaming other people instead of looking inwardly, which you kind of see a pattern. You know, you have to look inwardly, just like I talked about with bossing up on your game and not blaming women or blaming society. You have to look inward and look at what you did and accept responsibility for yourself, which is the same thing I was doing about brothers stepping up and accepting responsibility for our communities. So, for the most part, if you listen to this video, I'm gonna sum it up like this. It's okay to be giving, but a lot of times, don't give so much to where it puts you in a scenario where you can never help yourself. Always make sure that you can help yourself to a certain point, and then once you get to that point, go by all means be as generous as you can. But if you're gonna be so generous to the point where it puts you in the hole where you got to depend on others, just know it's a chance they could not help you. It's a chance that, especially we as black people, the reason we are where we are is because of that. I'm a living witness to that. But I haven't changed in my heart. My heart still is the same. I'm not going to change who I am on the inside. I'm still that giving brother that want to see the next man make it. I had other people coming to me and telling me, hey man, you helping this dude with this roofing and he working up under you and stuff like that, but he gonna get out here and making his own money. He gonna get uppity and I said, I don't give a damn. I said, I hope he get out here and make his own money. I want to see this brother make it. I remember telling people that. I said, I want to see him make it. He can use my tools. I don't give a shit if I ain't using my air compressor, if I ain't using my ladder and my nail gun and all that and my cushions. He can get up on a pillar, do a roofing job, then go right, by all means, go right ahead. So that's it. It's just a rant, really, because this video sent me somewhere, man. Sent me back to the past, man. Listening to those videos. I hope those brothers squash their beef, man, and come back together. But if they don't, hey, that's how life is. By the way, I also forgot to add this story that took place with me one time. I've thrown a few concerts, and there was this one concert I threw with Plies, who, you know, when I'm So Hood was out and he was the man. So he was the new rapper, and you know, he was supposed to have been the hot guy at the time. So I threw Plies, and, you know, I think it was like 15,000. No, yeah, it was 25 actually to book him, which, you know, found out later that was too much, but that's another story. So he basically, I booked the concert. You know, Plies shows up that night, but you know, by the time he got there, I had to go meet with him. But before he got there, you know, we basically sold liquor. We had the venue where we could sell liquor, and we had about 700-800 people show up buying liquor for about 3 hours before he even gets there. So you do the math on 800 people in a spot selling liquor for 3 hours. We're looking at about, you know, I don't know, maybe a couple of $1,000s an hour in liquor sales. At any rate, a fight breaks out. When the fight breaks out, the guy who I had done this concert with, now this was another guy that, you know, just, you know, people saw you, just, you know, it's just your friends, it's just you too nice or whatever. But fight breaks out. I was at the time meeting with Plies. So when I see the police running down there, I turn around and go back to go see what took place. By the time I get there, the police had cleared the place out. Fight broke out. It was over, right? Which is typical because, like I say, I've dealt with these thugs 100 times. You know, see my video, Thugs Demystified, whatever. But at any rate, the fight breaks out. I go in there. My partner, this is another guy that, you know, we've been to Africa together. We're supposed to be good friends and stuff. He basically tells me that when the fight broke out, they reached and took the money from behind the counter where the money was. So he lets me think that they took the whole door for the whole concert, which, come to find out, in the midst of him telling me this, one of the bartenders, this white female who was actually working with the bartender that worked was running our bar for the night, just walks up and says, "You're lying. That's not what happened. When the fight broke out, you came and you took the money out of the box." Just clearly catches him in a blatant lie. So he has this buck-eyed look in his face, right? But at the time, it's so many moving parts. Plies manager, by the time he's calling me, don't ever book Plies. If you hear this, don't ever book Plies. He has a manager. They call it clean face management. Straight bullshit. Real, they're lie, they're deceptive. Worst situation. I would never book another rapper as long as I live for another concert. I'd rather do a gospel play or something. But anyway, the whole thing happens, and I before the event happened, I had his brother. He had brought his brother with him. The guy that I was supposed to be friends with brought his brother. They were taking up tickets. We sold tickets. So I thought I saw him throwing the tickets earlier in the trash. I said, no, don't throw them in the trash because we have to count them. At the end of the night, we're going to count and see how many actual tickets we sold. We printed off, about 1,500 tickets. So I didn't go into another pack. So we had 500. So we probably had 1,000 technically in circulation, maybe a couple of hundred in each one, total in each one of our cars. So we probably gave out 800 to 1,000 tickets or whatever, sold, pre-sold. So we were roughly around anywhere from 800 to maybe 11, 1,200 people that technically could have got in because people came and just paid at the doors with them. So after that was all said and done, I go to him. I called my partner, and by then he's pulling me, trying to get me to leave out the back door because he didn't want to play. He didn't want to pay Plies. He didn't want to pay his people. And so I told him, in music business, a lot of times artists will give you a makeup date when something like that takes place. So I put the guy on speakerphone who was his manager. And he says, look, man, we're going to do a makeup date. Don't worry about it. We'll just sign up contract tonight. We'll do the paperwork. You guys, we'll come back and make up this date. No problem. My partner was like, man, I don't want to do this no more. I'm sick of this. I said, okay, fine. Well, you just get your half of the money and we'll just go ahead and do what we got to do. Right. And I'm thinking to myself like, hell, that's good. I'm gonna get this whole door next time. I'm gonna sell all the alcohol. I'm gonna get better security, and I'm gonna make all this money by myself and make upwards of $60,000-$70,000 in a night. It can be done. So, worst thing, the problem that happened was he kept trying to run because he kept pulling me to, man, let's go. Now, take in mind, I rode with him to this event. I didn't drive. I actually rode because we had rode around that morning doing a lot of things. So I didn't have my own car, right? So when that happens, as he's trying to get me to leave out the back door, guess who pops up at the back door? Plies' manager, right? Take in mind, his manager and his whole crew are like men but straight up ex-convicts and goons. These guys out of Florida. I was in college. I didn't get along with Florida. It was too tough. I don't know what it was. We just kept getting out. Every dude I got into it with was from Florida for some reason. Right, so he came in and the manager called him. He said, "Fellas, where you trying to go?" I wasn't scared because I'm sitting like, first of all, go shake with this dude. We gonna do business. Ain't nothing to hide. We gonna put everything on the table. I ain't trying to hide nothing. My partner didn't even want to look the guy in his face. He was scared. He didn't want to talk to him, and so he keeps telling me, "They gonna beat you up, man. They gonna jump on you, man. I ain't getting my money tonight." So me and him getting an argument. I'm like, why aren't you giving these dudes your money when contractually we're obligated? And they said they're going to give us a makeup date. We can redo the contract. What's the problem? All we had to do was put an addendum. They sign everything on the spot and we can go. And we can go ahead and give them their money. We got a makeup date. Right? Well, I was talking to him and, so I go talk to Plies' manager, right? And I had to tell the police to stay there because they were going to leave. And I'm like, okay, this may get ugly. So I told the cops to stay there. Because I'm not with that street shit. I really ain't. I ain't got time to be trying to fight 5 and 6 niggas by myself. So I'm there by myself. This nigga that I was supposed to be my homeboy got his bitch ass in the car and left. Sped out. When I saw him, the last thing I saw was a cloud of smoke and his damn Escalade speeding up out the damn place that I had the event in. Now, why am I saying this? Now eventually we did show up because I he don't know this, but I was gonna have some people show up to his house with some shotguns. We was gonna get that other half of that money. Simple and plain. Because the way it went down, I signed paperwork with those guys and got everything cleared up. They were cool. They were upset, but they knew it wasn't me. They saw he was a bitch. They saw he was running, but they still, we talking about rappers and shit, so they still were upset. So I was like, okay, my name is on the paperwork, my address. If this shit go down, I don't know these niggas like that. I don't know them. They might come up and I don't know. So I took all shit that was still on the table. Every option. I feel like these niggas could show up, come shooting. I don't know what the fuck could happen. I didn't want to get into that. So I said, well, man, you told me you was going to pay the other half of the concert. That's what you said you're going to do. Damn it, you going to do that. I went to his house, caught this nigga in all types of lies. He first said that they took the money. Then to come to find out the girl busted him. And then when she busted him, He's like, oh, nah, they didn't take it, man. You know, I thought they did. My brother had got it, though. And then I said, okay. So come to find out that night when I left the concert, somebody else came and gave me a ride. His wife called me at 3:30 in the morning. So this nigga left at 12 o'clock. So for 3.5 hours, you wasn't even at home. See what I'm saying? Shit like that. This is what happens when you mix friends with money. You come out better with a fucking complete stranger off the street that you do not know. Because it's understood when this shit go down, I'm gonna have to cut you or fire you or whatever, and it ain't no hard feelings. You can be hard with it. Don't ever make friends with people in business. Make damn sure you keep that shit real professional and don't just try to cross the lines. Because especially us as black people, we are not advanced in business. And a lot of times we think we can outsmart and trick the next man and make a fool out of him. And that's that. Just because we feel like we deserve most of the money for some stupid ass reason. So that's all I'm saying. It's a lot of, when it comes to money and business and black people, we will shit on each other like it's nothing. And I got tired of it. So at the end of the day, remember this. Thank you.